Hello and welcome back to another episode of Pop Culture Reacts, and we are back in the list. This one is from someone who I work with. It was given to me ages ago and was put in the list ages ago, so we're finally getting around to it. Which is Jaya the cat and Pass the Ammunition. Um, Ever heard of Jaya the cat before?
No, no, really haven't. And until you just said it, I still hadn't heard of him because when I was looking at the video, it didn't have the cat bit on it, so that kind of threw me. But I take your word for it.
So I've heard of them. They did play the marquee. I wasn't working that night, so I wasn't there to hear them. But I do know that many years ago they were doing shows in there, and I know they've played the Waterfront a couple of times and things like that. So I don't know if
Norwich Legends is
I
what I'm
don't know. I was
hearing.
gonna say I don't know if they are English or whether they just when they ever tour they just come over here and do Norwich. Um,
Delia Smith's favourite band is what I'm hearing.
but I do know.
Absolutely awful reference for an international audience, isn't it? Delia Smith. Delia Smith, TV chef, transitioned into alcoholic football club owner, I believe is the best description I have for her.
Yes.
Disgraced herself on a midweek game many, many years ago and will never be forgotten for it.
So yeah, I know they are reggae based. They sort of
The name sounds quite sort of like ragga reggae.
yeah.
I'm guessing at a bit of ragga reggae, maybe some hip hop stylings. I don't know. I don't know.
So shall we pass some ammunition and see what we're getting?
Yeah, I guess the song title as well. That's maybe where I'm in my head. I'm going maybe some hip hop influences because sort of terminology that often we'll see or hear in certain rap stuff. But let's do this.
Hey, hold up. How did it all get so confused? Last night I was smoking weed and watching the news. And as far as I can tell, this whole deal's screwed. Everyone's got a gun and their own version of the truth. They're turning profits in the name of profits. Everything we had, I guess we lost it. And all this God shit, it's enough to make me vomit. Keep your redemption, I don't want it. Under God, one nation. Load the rocket launchers, lead us not into temptation. Then we'll roll our tank straight through the gates of heaven. Singing, praise the Lord, let pass the ammunition. How do we get so lost? Seems like in the human race, the humans lost. Everyone wants the credit, but no one takes the blame. Everyone's pointing fingers, but it all just sounds the same. And if you check the terrorists, down to the presidents, when you add it up, it's just the same old rhetoric. Then all this God shit, it's enough to make me vomit. Keep your redemption, I don't want it. Under God, one nation.
So as a bit of a spoiler to the world, because not things don't always come out in the order that we record them, but we've just finished up recording the tale of Jenny and Screech, and we both kind of said, "Oh, let's have something a bit lighter and more fun." And before we get into like most of it, so we went into a treaty about the arms race, the world, how we live in the world.
And
So I'm
wars for
not entirely,
religion.
yeah, I'm not entirely sure whether it was the sweet, sweet transition into comedy music that maybe we were hoping for. However, it is what it is. And what did you think?
I like this. This obviously lyrically it is very deep and hitting sort of some truths about profiting for war and using religion as a thing to do it for.
As your inciting moment, yeah,
Yeah,
like
musically, Sunday vibes all over this. Very chill out. Back in the day when I used to, like the herbal cigarettes, it would have been a nice chill out sort of musically to vibe to whilst
when you were smoking the weed and watching the news, as I believe
exactly.
the song.
But yeah, it reminds me a lot of Sublime and that sort of early '90s SoCal stonery punk stuff that was
Yeah,
coming out
yeah.
around that sort of time, but with a bit more authenticity than they had because that was sort of sometimes like the more reggae side of it felt a bit forced and a bit pushed,
Yeah.
whereas this sort of it didn't feel forced into it. It sort of had that worked really well. Yeah, I like this. I feel I may have to find more.
It's odd as well because I look at the sum of its parts, and every fibre of me goes, I shouldn't like this, or I shouldn't. Say one. I don't
You
think I'd
wouldn't
like this. Yeah,
normally,
or
yeah,
but all of those elements being on their own, or maybe with some of the the tropes and the accoutrements I expect with some of them. So um, it's very simple, isn't it? What's going on with the music, and I think it could, if you were being, if you were hearing that on its own, then I get you with the Sunday afternoon vibe, but with a lot less interesting lyrics, I think the music could bore me.
hmm.
Um, I think the vocal performance to a different bit of music, I don't think I'd like it. But with that music, I loved it. I absolutely loved the vocal performance. I was yes, give me more. And then you as you say, you wrap in the subject matter, and I think there's back to world theories and proclivities that probably sit snugly with us, which is great. I don't think it was overly complex or thrust it down your face. It did feel more like in some of our lighter moments where you and I will just go, "This world's mental, isn't it? Like, just none of this makes sense. I don't get it." And it felt like it had the message, but that vibe, and I quite
Yeah,
like that because I think if this had been really, really, really raw and preachy, again, it wouldn't have gone with the music nor the vocal performance. But wrap it all together, and yeah, I was sitting through that going, "Oh God, I want more of these." Now I'm a little bit scared about more of them. I'm hoping this isn't their like magnum opus and everything else maybe leans into some of the stuff that I wouldn't like. But no, I'm with you. Like this really great vibe to it, great performance to it, and a really, really interesting way for you said kind of that punk, that kind of mix of the reggae punk, but not just in the music, but like with the subject matters they're getting into.
yeah,
Yeah, big fan, big fan. And again, I think it's like one of those interesting sort of dynamics of all we had was the title, which made me lean into kind of, is it going to lean into your kind of gangster rappy sort of stuff? Artist name, which kind of had no real massive context for me, and the still photograph that someone had decided to put on a YouTube video we were watching, which was a load of lads down an alleyway, most of them pissing up a wall. So I didn't think we were getting what we were going to get. And that actually, I think, made it even more. That really helped it, because I think you got that surprise element of going, yeah, this isn't what I expected. But he's Dutch American. I looked it up while we were in the song, because I was kind of going, there's a lot of American here, but there sounds like there's some twangs here, and that twang was Dutch. And the bit that I looked it up was, it had one other fact, and it was about the band name. And the name of the band is, and open your mind up for a real shocker and surprise here. The name of the band is speculated to come from the fact that they had a cat named Jaya. I mean, it's as good a reason as anything to name your band, isn't it? But yeah, but speculated, not confirmed.
But yes, down there, where do we go next with the cat?
And we do want to go next as well. So put some stuff in and give us where we should go next, because yeah, I'm really interested to see what else they've got in their catalogue, and what else they do, whether musically they sort of stay down this line, and if every song is has some sort of message to it, or what, or maybe the next one's about the cat.
I'll take that.
Not a cat fan. The dog. If this band was Jaya the dog, I'm in.
So, as always, comments down there, let us know. Like, subscribe, and ring bells, and all the YouTubey things. And until next time, good day.